Well, hey everybody, Kay here, and this is Patch. Hi. Hi. And I know everyone was so kind. She doesn't like to be held that much. So there she goes. She is alive. She appears to be well. And of course she had, come here baby. Come on, it's a good girl. She's purring. Can you hear her purring? Yeah. Everyone was so kind to pray for Patch, and I think most people, like myself, thought that an animal probably took her. Because there are plenty of animals. People don't need to be stealing cats off the road, you know. There are so many cats available all the time. Here's BJ. Say hi. Say hi. This is BJ. So I've got them cooped up in the garage today on purpose because I kind of wanted them to bond again, because she had been gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So today's Wednesday, and you know, we're out in the country. We do have predators. There's a fox that lives down here. Occasionally the coyotes come over, but my neighbor said they hadn't heard them in a while. So I really, you know, I think most of us just probably assume that she had been taken by a predator. Because, you know, they're siblings, and would she really wander away from her brothers and sisters into an unknown situation where she doesn't know if she's going to get a warm place to sleep and whether or not she's going to get food? At least food given to her. She can always catch food. She's a very good hunter. But anyway, so much time went by. My neighbors, Natalie and husband Kip, were driving home the night before, the night before, and said they had seen a black and white cat run across the road just a ways down. And so there's some woods right there, and I had just gotten out of the bathtub and I was trying to warm up and get ready for bed, and I bundled up and I went down there, but you know, I called and nothing. So I came back, and then yesterday afternoon I just thought, you know what? You know, when you move to a neighborhood, you sort of expect people to come and introduce themselves and say, welcome. That never happened here, not once. But I did go and introduce myself and meet people. So I thought, well, all right, just go down that way. And because I know there's a black and white cat very similar 2 houses down, the second house down. And so I just wanted to ask her if she had been out in the evening, like 8:30, 9 o'clock the night before, or did she know if the cats had been inside? Because if her cat had been inside, you see, then there was a chance that this cat they saw was my cat. So hey. So she said the cat had been in. So I thought, okay. Now, my big mistake was not going out and being optimistic enough to think that I would be coming back with her. I went out empty-handed on foot. Big mistake. Big mistake. It could have been a horrible, horrible, horrible mistake, but fortunately it wasn't. But it was close, because I got down to that next house. There's some woods there, and then I went down to that next house. It was a long driveway in, and knocked on the door. The lady was very nice, and she said there had been some cats hanging around. And I described her, and as I'm describing her, Patch walks up and jumps up on the porch through the railing, just like she does here, and came up and let me pet her. but she looked a little wild, and she didn't want to stay with me or anything, and she wasn't like, "Hey, mommy, where have you been? I'm lost." It was none of that. It was like, "What are you doing here?" And I live here now. So the woman said she and her husband liked to feed the birds, and she didn't like the fact that she said a lot of animals wind up there, cats presumably, because they feed the birds, so they have a lot of birds showing up. So that it makes sense why she gravitated down there, because I stopped feeding the birds here because obviously they're going to just go after the birds. It's a curve there, so from the back of their property or the side of their property to the wayside of mine probably is just a hop, skip, and a jump for a cat. For me to go over that way would be going over a rock wall, waist high, and then, bouldering over that, and then avoiding the barbed wire fence, barbed wire that runs across the top of it. And so forget it. So I knew I had to walk back up the street. Well, it's uphill, as is my driveway. And so I thanked her, and I gave her my number, and we talked a little bit, and I offered to help her because she's had surgery, and I said I'd be happy to help you, if you need anything, etc. And so I started home with Patch in my arms, and I got like halfway up the driveway, and she's like squirming, and because as we're getting closer to the road, and there's always traffic on this road. And so I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, okay, so I wore my ski jacket because it was cold. It's cold now. You've probably seen, if you watch BP Earthwatch, the whole swath of the southeast is cold. And so I put her in here, but it wasn't big enough to get it all the way zipped up. So I'm like holding her like this inside my coat. My coat's offering some protection, but she could slip through the bottom, so I've got my arm underneath like a baby, and this one is trying to hold her in this way. And so we start walking up the road, and there's a car that comes by, and it was like Superman. It was like me trying to hold back Superman, and I could not believe how strong she was. And yeah, Spot just went over there and swatted her. I mean, they're not getting along. So anyway, I would say 4 cars went by. One went by, and I turned my back because I was right on the side of the road. I turned my back and I shielded her, and we got through that, and I thought, if I can just get to my driveway. And then I'm just at the very next driveway, and then that man comes to pull in, and she's doing it again, and it's like all I can do, and I am having these shades of horror because when I got Lyndon and her sister was run over in the street right in front of me. She got away, she got scared, and she went right in the street and got run over. This was a kitten, and I was traumatized for years. And so I'm thinking, I put myself back in the same situation. All I had to do was carry Lyndon's little one cat thing down there with me just in case. Didn't even think of it. So I think 2 more cars went by, and at one point I had my head down like this to try to, and she was like this, and she went right down through here, and it was cold out, and my nose was dripping, and I couldn't tell if it was blood dripping down my lip or if it was, and so finally I get to my driveway, and as soon as we turn in and she looks over, I could feel her body just relax. It was just like this. And she just kind of, went like that. And she's like looking around, and then she's purring. And I'm going, oh my gosh. But now I've got to walk up my driveway and get her inside, because I was determined to bring her right in and put her in the dog crate and let her just be isolated from because I already had I had Tiger and spot in here already because it was going to be very cold last night. And so I just put her right into the cage, and then I got her food, and she ate it all in 2 seconds. She ate half a can of cat food in 2 seconds, so I gave her another half of the can, and it was gone. And I thought, wow, you know, she obviously they're not feeding her down there, but I just don't know why she went off. You know, I don't have real confidence that she won't go again. And the woman now has my number, but if she prefers to stay down there, there are a number of vehicles that she can get under to keep out of the weather, and I don't know, maybe even a building. I didn't notice, but anyway, so I sort of imagined if she came back, it would be like one of these things where she walked, it's like a movie, she's walking up the driveway and she's going, ah! Hey! You see, hey! You see, BJ is fighting her. No, it's no wonder, you know, she left. Because they're, you know, the bigger cats are picking on her. So I feel like she either has to come into the house, but, you know, she's an outdoor cat and she loves to hunt. She's a good hunter and all of that. And I have a feeling that keeping her inside, you know, keeping Lyndon inside is no big deal. Lyndon's never been outside. She's never caught a mouse. She's never chased a mouse. And so, I don't know. So anyway, while I'm very happy and I'm very grateful to all of you that she's alive and she's well and all of that, I'm very, you know, upset about going forward. So I don't know where any of that stands. So I just wanted to bring you up to date. I hope that answers your questions. And I, again, thank you so much for praying for her safety and safe return and all of that. Please subscribe to my channel if you like to follow me here trying to build a sustainable homestead on a property I've been on for 2 years by myself. Please subscribe. And I have there's something that we absolutely must do today. By tomorrow, we need to write to a government agency and submit a comment, because it's very important, but I'm going to put that in the next video, so it's a standalone video, so please watch for that. It is critical that we all act on this. Thank you so much. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video.